We're going to be adding some more of this really pretty window pane check right here, plaid. It needs some more of that color because we've got a lot of green going. And I'm going to show you another. I don't normally do this with a birch wreath, but I'm going to do it with a DECO mesh wreath, and I'm going to put them together with my stapler. I'm going to start with a tail, just pinch it over and make a loop and bring some of it back up, cut it at an angle, and this is thick ribbon. I'm going to alright, I've stapled it about 3 times. So that leaves me a loop and 2 curls. All I'm going to do is put, have we got a glue gun hot over there? My glue gun's not plugged in, y'all. Wow. I'll just plug this in. Oh, yeah. Okay. While we're waiting for the glue gun to heat up, I'm going to make several like this, and I can use the twist ties that I've got and not even have to wait for my glue gun. So I'm going to pinch that together, make a loop, and then bring it up and make another tail. Now I am not measuring these. That's probably a little bit over a yard. You can make them shorter and smaller, or you can make them a little bit fuller like I am. Doing it this way with the staple gun, I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller because I'm going to put it down near the bottom. But using the stapler like this, especially in a DECO mesh wreath, it saves you a lot of time and you don't have to try to put a pick on it. I'm going to do about 4 of these and then we'll put them in and see how they look. And y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm bending it up, making my loop, holding it, and bending it back up. So when you reach in here with your stapler, there's 4 pieces there that you've got to make sure you catch. That's why I'm stapling it more than once. Now, I'm just going to twist this right in here with these little twist ties I used. When I added my DECO mesh. And just curl it around a little, kind of let the ribbon fall where it naturally falls. Sometimes you can make it curl in the opposite direction, like this one. And, you know, I used to never have a glue gun. When I started, we didn't use glue guns. So I tied things in, I wired things in, I stapled things in. And see that? I used a staple gun, and it works great. got a twist tie right here. It's in the right place. And I'm going to use to twist this one in. Now this is not going to be the only ribbon we add because we've got a couple more down here that we're going to be putting. There's another one right here, right where I need it. So if you forget to plug in your glue gun like I did, there's always another way. If you're in a hurry, like I'm filming the video today, it takes about 10 minutes for the glue gun to heat up, so I didn't want to wait for that. Now, I'm going to do the same thing with this really pretty ribbon. Only I'm not going to make loops with this. I'm going to make just little tails with it. I'm going to pinch it together. Well, you can just bend it in half if you want to at first. Cut it at an angle. And pinch it together and staple it. And sometimes I just do them at do the staples kind of like an X. Tie this one in right here. These little wired extensions on this work wreath come in really, really handy. Now, this is probably 15 inches, you think? Now, this is a softer ribbon. Still has a wire in it, but it's a little flimsy. That's why I'm not really making a loop out of this one. It wouldn't stand up as well. But that doesn't mean you can't still use it for color, because it'll curl around really pretty. I want that one to go there, and there's no place to tie it to, so I'm going to staple it in. We had to open our doors a while ago, y'all. With all these lights on while we're filming. It got really hot in here. No, not yet. It's starting to get cold, but we'll wait a few more minutes. Okay, there's a little wired piece right there that's going to hold this one in for me. I'm just wrapping it around it a couple of times. You don't even need two of them. One will do it just fine. Now you can spend a lot of time on your ribbon making loops and curls and putting it on picks. And you can put as much or as little as you want of this accent ribbon. Most of the time in the DECO mesh wreaths, we do use a good bit of ribbon. I like the look, and I think most of our customers like the look also. Now I just tied that one in. And it's kind of flopping over a little bit, but by the time I add some flowers to it, it's going to be fine. I'm going to need a little bit more right down here. There's really no place to put that, so I'm going to staple it in too. When you're reaching in there not looking like I am, be careful, because I've gotten my finger before. That didn't feel good. Let's see, I think I need 2 more. And then we're going to switch over to flowers. Notice I always run my fingers down the sides of my ribbon anytime I'm using it. Here's another little wired extension from my work wreath that's going to hold this one. So I've done this much of my wreath so far and haven't even had to use any glue yet. My glue gun's hot, but I haven't needed it. Now, this is going to go over here. You'll mess your bow up as you work with it, and you'll have to reach back in and stick it in. Okay, we'll probably add some more ribbon at the end, but I'm ready to get going with flowers. And I do want to put some of this, but we'll do it a little bit later too. Move that over some. Now, y'all know what this is if you've gotten any of my videos before. This is ficus leaves. Or we've used wisteria leaves, whatever is available. Close that door back now. No, it's getting cold in here. I am going to run 2 little stems of glue, 2 little rolls of glue down both sides. And then I got to find a place to stick it. A lot of people don't use wisteria in their deco mesh wreaths, but we like to. It gives it a little more definition, makes it look fuller, a little more airy, a little wilder. It's a little bit harder to find a place to stick it, so you're just going to have to kind of watch where you're going with it. Make sure it sticks where it's going to stay. If it doesn't seem to stick securely, you know what to use. I'm going to go all the way around the outside of my wreath, putting some glue, two streams of glue down each of these stems, and then finding a place to stick it in. And you're going to have to be real careful too, because you can get burned really easily sticking it into these. It might touch part of the deco mesh as you're pushing it in, and then your hand will touch the same part. Now, these stems come like this. from my from my favorite secret vendor. And these are less than $1 a piece. It seems like it's 60 or 70 cents a piece. Very inexpensive. Where the nice wisteria leaves that I used to use so much, I was paying $3.50 per stem, and that was the wholesale price. Whoops. Well, that got me. Yeah, I'm covered in glue. When I get down toward the bottom, most of the time, I'll use a little bit longer piece. It kind of makes your wreath look a little more oval looking, which I like. And it's already looking a little more oval looking because we've got the DECO mesh and the ribbon hanging down the bottom. Now, I could tell that didn't grab as tight as I wanted it to. So I just used my staple to add a little strength to it so it would stay. I need a longer one for right there. And if you have purchased my secret vendor list, you know which vendor this comes from. And these are just called ficus leaves. Now they have a couple of different types. They have one with a bigger leaf that doesn't have the lighter color of the green growth on the ends. I like this one the best. And this one is the most inexpensive one. I like the lighter color. All right, we've gotten to this point where we have added more ribbon, and now we've got our ficus leaves. I'm going to start adding some of our flowers now. I love these white ones. They're really airy. And we're going to add those last. I normally, in a wreath like this, I'm going to normally start with the larger flowers first. And then I'm going to fill in with some of my smaller filler flowers. And I'm going to need to cut this one a little bit shorter since this is a DECO mesh wreath. In a birch wreath, I would probably use it just like that and have it curling way out. Now, in putting these on, this part is harder in DECO mesh. It's harder finding a place for your flower to stick and stay securely. I'm just shooting some glue in there, and that stem is sticking out the back of my wreath. But when I'm through, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to cut all those stems off. So that's okay. And I'm cutting my stems to about this length, and then running beads of glue down two sides of each one of them. We'll see if that one will go in there with the leaves on it without having to cut it off. Yeah, it will. But to do that, okay, I threaded that one right through the DECO mesh, and I'm going to have to staple it and glue it to make it stay where I want it to stay. Notice I just shoot it up in there and it'll grab hold. I love these blue hydrangeas. I think they're beautiful. That one went in really good. And for it, I'm just going to staple 2 different leaves. Now these staples are not showing. Now I'm also going to add a little bit of glue. Now in our glue guns, we use the long, hot glue sticks. They make them for guns that don't get hot. They'll call them cool temp glue sticks and glue guns. I don't really like those. To me, they just don't seem to hold as well. Okay, I'm going to put a little glue down this one because that's a good spot for it. Right here. And notice I'm still stapling even when I'm gluing. Just makes it a lot more secure. I think I need one more small one coming out the side. Don't forget when you're making your wreaths to always look at them from the side. I mean, you're looking at them face on when you're making them. But when they're hanging up, people will see them. See it, a lot of different views. And I'm noticing on these dark leaves where I put the staple, since the leaf is dark, it really is not showing at all that I'm stapling it. Now we're going to put some really pretty Gerber daisies, which I love. Put some glue on these. There's no leaves, so we're going to have to glue those in. That's a fat stem, so I put 3 beads of glue down it. And slide it in. It's going to be a little loose right this moment, but as it dries, it's going to stay. Now you have to kind of just, you're not going to know exactly where they're going to look good. You're just going to have to move them around and put them where you think they look the best. That one looked good there. The stem might be a little bit long. These are hard to cut. These are fat stems. Now I need to tell you about my wire cutters. They're Klein tools. and they have an angle to them. And you can normally find them in the electrical department in stores like Lowe's or Home Depot. Or you can order them online. I've got a link. Actually, there is a link on my website where you can order them through Amazon. And it's time for me to order us some more. We really wear them out. Let's see, I want this one up here somewhere. And there's not much of a place to stick it. You can turn the little heads in the direction you want them to go in. And I want one hanging out. Well, where does it look the best, Kim? You've got a better view than me. Right in there. Now you'll notice when you're standing right up on your wreath, you don't really have a good view to know exactly where something's going to go. And I usually stand back, walk away, and get a better view. But when I'm filming for y'all, I don't take the time to do that often. So that's why I asked Kim, because she's sitting back there and got a good view. That one didn't stay really good, so I'm reaching behind. I'm getting a couple of the petals of the Gerber daisy and stapling it in. We're going to add a few of these yellow blossoms. A little bit smaller filler, give us a little more color. These will be a little bit easier. We want them to kind of stick out a little bit. These come on a bush. Again, they came from my favorite vendor. They are very inexpensive and they have them in all colors. And just for a smaller filler flower where you need more color, these look great. And we've already cut them up from the bush, so it'd be easier to stick them in. I'm just going to go all around adding these in different spots. I'm going to add it all over, not just around the outside, but I am putting them to come out the outside too. This is going to be pretty for spring. I would use this one for spring and for summer on my door. Now these, if you want them to be shorter, you can slide the leaves and the blossoms right up the stem. You can do that with most flowers, actually.